You're on a dive and your buddy suddenly becomes unresponsive and unconscious underwater. Would you know what to do in this situation? Could you get them back to the surface in time to save their life? Could you rescue them? Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to Everything Scuba. I'm Lyle.
Hey, I'm Josh.
He's back. He's still alive. He hasn't been around for a little while. We haven't been together for a while, but hey, we're glad to be back together doing a show for you guys. So, hey, if you're a first-time viewer to our channel, welcome. We are dedicated to talking about everything about scuba diving. So, if you're a scuba diver,
dive in to Everything Scuba.
Dive into Everything Scuba is the thing. Hit that subscribe button down below. We'd love to have you join us for all of our upcoming shows. We're going to give you our top 5 tips to prepare yourself to take the rescue diver course. There are some things that we feel, in our opinion, that would really set you up for success and get the most out of the rescue diver course that you possibly can.
Probably our most requested class or most curious question class from students, rescue diver.
Rescue diver certification. Probably one of the most mentally and physically taxing courses that you will ever take as a scuba diver. What is rescue diver? Well, let's go back and let's just describe it in terms of all of you guys out there who know how to drive a car. When you're learning how to drive a car, that's how I equate a new open water scuba diver. You got lots of things to control. You got accelerator, you got the brake. If you're driving a stick shift, you got the stick and a clutch, and you got a steer. So that's how it is as an open water diver. You're learning to handle all of this equipment and figure out how it all works and make sure that you're safe while you're diving. So next step is advanced open water. And we've done a show in the past where we talked about our 5 top tips to cover how to be prepared for advanced open water. And an advanced open water diver is someone who they know how to drive the car and now they're starting to look outside the window. And so you're increasing your sphere of knowledge and influence. And so as an advanced open water diver, I'm now starting to pay attention to my buddies. I'm starting to pay attention to what's going on around me. I already know how to handle all my gear. Rescue diver is one step next. We're starting to really expand your world. And in that way, not only are you driving the car and looking outside the window, but you see that truck that is not going to stop at the stoplight and may careen into the rest of the traffic. And so as a rescue diver, you start to become much more aware of other divers, potential accidents, potential incidents, and how do we handle those going forward, okay?
Yes, that's so important. And it is eye-opening. You start to notice, you see who is going to be a handful for the dive masters. You see who is going to potentially end your dive short on the boat. Yeah. Now, one thing to remember, and it's not one of the 5 tips, but you do no good for anyone if you become a victim yourself. So as a rescuer, that's something to consider.
So our first tip for you is to go back to your open water class and review a lot of the skills that you were taught in the first place, believe it or not. So first of all, self-rescue skills. What kind of things can we do to rescue ourselves?
So that is, we need to make sure that we can make ourselves positively buoyant. You know, pretty simple.
What if I'm out of air? How do I do that?
Oh my goodness. If only we could orally inflate potentially.
Wow.
Remember, I can push that button in and orally inflate, even if I'm out of air.
Next thing you want to do is, if you decide that you're not going back under the water, another thing you were taught in your open water class is an emergency weight drop. So if you have integrated weights, you're going to pull both of those out. Obviously, you want to make sure there's no divers below you so you don't drop stuff on them. Put them away from your body, let go of those weights. So positively buoyant, drop your weights. What else could we do?
Boy, I don't know. You know, sometimes I get cramps.
Oh, okay.
And so being able to release cramps on myself,
sure,
is a pretty nice thing to be able to do.
Yeah, so if you remember, you're reaching out, you're pulling on your toes, and you're kind of getting rid of that Charlie horse or cramping in the calf muscles there. So another skill that you learned in your open water class is how to deploy and use an SMB to signal at the surface if you are in distress. So pull out that SMB, practice blowing that guy up. If you remember previously, Josh and I did a whole series on surface signaling devices. Dropping the link above. If you don't know what kind of SMB you have or you want to look at new ones, we've got lots of choices in that option.
Another part of self-rescue, we need to be able to deal with a free-flowing regulator. You know, we practiced this and learned in open water class, but a lot of people don't think of that for dives for a long time. But we need to be able to breathe from that free-flowing regulator. Now tip 2, going back to open water skills, but this time with a buddy. And we're thinking low on air, out of air, and air sharing, and then buddy tows.
So yeah, I mean, those are, again, basic skills that if you were low on air or out of air, how do you establish contact with your buddy? How do you get their alternate from them? Once you have the alternate, what are the things that we're going to do to get ourselves both to the surface safely? So basic skills that you learn in open water. Buddy tows. What are the 3 buddy tows that we did in basic open water class there, Josh?
So I know we like to teach, we have 1, the tank valve tow, 2, underarm tow, and 3, the modified swimmer tow.
Yeah. So get with a buddy, tow them around the pool.
Practice.
Because in rescue class, you're going to do a lot of air sharing and you're going to do a lot of tows. And so if you can get these skills down, have them in your mind as to how to do those, you're going to get a lot more out of rescue class. Tip number 3, guys, is navigation, specifically underwater navigation. You need to have taken at least 1 adventure dive regarding underwater navigation with an instructor prior to even being able to take the rescue diver certification course. At the end of this video, we're going to talk about what are the specific requirements, what are the things that you have to have done in order to take this course. But underwater navigation, super important skill. Why is that an important skill?
You want to be able to get back if you're shore diving to where you got in.
Okay.
You want to be able to get back to a boat if you're boat diving. And it's just a good idea to kind of have your general sense of where you are in the world.
Yeah. So underwater navigation, adventure dive, or you can do the full certification. The full certification will delve into a lot more detail in terms of different patterns that you will use using a compass. It'll talk a lot more about underwater navigation using natural navigation.
Our tip 4, do a search and recovery adventure dive or the full certification. It has a lot of good merits. You know, specifically, you're going to learn about search patterns that are important and you're going to work on in rescue class.
So if we have a missing diver, we know how to get into the water as a team, and how do we figure out where we're going to find this person? So that's a good thing to know. What else?
It's going to really reinforce your navigation skills. You know, you have to do that navigation adventure dive or more, but this is going to put it into practice.
Right.
And then there are other fun things that we learn. Things like underwater knot tying, how to use lift bags.
Yeah, check out Josh right here in this video here, tying up to some weights, lifting it to the surface. I mean, it's a really fun class to have and to know how to do these things underwater. You suddenly drop your motor off your boat, well, you know how to bring that boat back, that motor back to the surface, right?
It is.
So yeah, search and recovery, really important, and it would really add to your abilities, particularly in terms of search patterns. If we're looking for a missing diver. Tip 5, guys, is Emergency First Responder course, EFR. So EFR is a course that, as PADI instructors, we can teach and certify people in EFR. Many of you are probably CPR certified, and that is part of the American Heart Association course, which is a great course. I'm CPR certified. I'm actually ACLS certified as well. But EFR, the bonus to that course is it is much more dive related, specific more to divers and dive accidents, drowning and near drowning incidents, and how do we care for those individuals. What else does it cover, Josh?
You know, it also covers wound care, injuries. It covers oxygen administration, which is so important.
Yeah. Well, that's it, Josh. We got our 5 tips in. We're all good. We're all done.
But wait, there's more.
Oh, okay.
Bonus tip number 1, oxygen provider certification. You know,
I didn't think about
yes, in EFR and rescue course, you're going to learn to provide oxygen. But if you'd like a little bit more information, maybe delve a little bit deeper into it. You know, oxygen is the #1 treatment for decompression illness as well as decompression sickness. You know, every dive boat is going to have it. You know, every good instructor is going to have it available. Every dive shop should have it available. So it really is important to know how you can be a better rescuer using oxygen.
I mean, when you open up that oxygen kit, do you even know how to put it together? How do I turn on the bottle? How do I attach everything? And there's different kinds of masks involved. So he's right. Oxygen provider would be a great certification to have on board prior to your rescue class.
So, okay, Lyle, we gave them 5 tips plus a bonus.
Yeah,
I think we're done with this.
I don't want to be Steve Jobs here, but I got one more thing, Josh. Bonus tip. Go check out diversalertnetwork.com, dan.com. Divers Alert Network is a phenomenal organization in terms of the study of dive accidents and injuries to divers. How do we manage those? Great resource for us as divers. I use their website all the time. They've got some great video content there to check out that would really help you become a phenomenal rescue diver. So guys, there you have it. Those are some of our top tips to prepare yourself to take the rescue diver certification class. If you completed all of those things, you would be in phenomenal shape. I would love it as an instructor if everybody came to us and had those things under their belt already. So let's talk a little bit about the specifics about the requirements of that course prior to being able to take the course. What is number 1?
So number 1, you have to be 12 years or older
Right.
to be able to take the course.
Right. You'd be then certified as a junior rescue diver until you became 15, much like any of our open water, advanced open water certifications. Number 2 is, we talked about it previously, you have to have completed at least one underwater adventure dive with an instructor to at least know a little bit more about your compass and how to figure out your way underwater. Number 3, Josh.
Number 3, it ties into our tips. You have to be CPR with AED or EFR certified.
Yeah. And like we said, with EFR, we actually combine that with our rescue dive class because it's definitely much more dive related. Lastly, who should take this class, Josh?
Everybody.
Everybody.
Every certified diver should become a rescue diver.
Increase your situational awareness underwater, increase your preparedness to get in the water with other divers, increase your ability to observe what's going on around you, and become a much more confident diver.
It is. You become a much better diver. You become a much better buddy or part of a dive team.
If any of you guys out there have taken rescue class before or have questions about taking the rescue class that we didn't cover today, drop some comments down below.
So stick around. Check out some of these other links for everything scuba videos.